All right, guys, it's your man Jay, and it's time to put the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus up against a phone that I think almost no phone can really do that good against, and it's the HTC U11. Now, in this video, I'm just going to be comparing front and rear cameras, and that's it. We're going to do some video. And this right here is the front camera on the S20 Plus. And when I switch to the front camera on, and this is 4K at 60, and when I switch to the HTC U11, you will see a difference. The HTC U11 is just, HTC has always had some fantastic cameras. Unfortunately, HTC has fallen off as a company and they're just not producing anything else. But if you have an HTC U11, I think you know what's getting ready to happen. So let's switch over to the HTC U11 and let's see how this looks. So here is the HTC U11 and here is the S20 Plus. The HTC U11 is a device that I use for all of my YouTube content on my channel at one point or another because the cameras were just that good. This is the device that I held on to do videos for YouTube, and I got rid of my other small camera that I had, but eventually I did go to a DSLR or mirrorless camera and left this phone behind. I very well could have just used this device for YouTube. I could have used this device still, to this day, I could still use this device for YouTube. But nothing really beats having a real camera, so to speak. There's just some things that phones just can't do. So here is the HTC U11 now on the tripod. Now I'm going to put them side by side. Remember, the HTC U11 can't do 4K on the front, only on the rear. But this is the front. And so as I look through the viewfinder, it looks fantastic. So now I'm going to put it next to this device. All right, so here they are. This is the Galaxy. You can probably already tell the difference. And I'm making this video to, I guess, prove a point that people are thinking I'm kind of being too tough on the S20 Plus and saying that, you know, I'm not being fair about it. But this happens all the time. Reality is the cameras on Samsung devices, this particular S20, my Note 10 cameras, I like them better than the S20 cameras. And overall I do. The S20 camera, it just seems like there's always something with the tone and the way it's producing the footage. Now, if you look over at the HTC U11, you're going to see this is reality over here. This front camera, and this phone is what, 3 years old? It doesn't matter how old the phone is, but reality is these phones, both are great. But again, the S20, you can see its weaknesses and shortcomings when you put it next to something that's probably gonna, you know, give it a run for its money. All right, guys, so here's the rear camera on the S20 Plus. This is what the footage will look like. This is 4K 60, not 8K. And I'll touch on that 8K in another video because I think some people said that the quality actually did look pretty sharp. I looked at it on the phone and it did look pretty decent. You can tell that it's a little bit sharper in detail, but nonetheless, this is 4K 60 on the rear of the S20 Plus. What do you guys think? All right, guys, so here is the rear camera on the HTC U11. What do you guys think about this footage? Do you think it's better or worse than the S20 Plus? Now, one thing that has always plagued some devices back in the day was that record limit. And unfortunately, this device still has that 6-minute limit, but this is a 3-year-old device. So it has 6 minutes of 4K on the rear. Now, if I switch to 1080p, obviously it's unlimited, but here it is. All right, so now I'm recording with the HTC U11 just to kind of close out this video. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the cameras on the Galaxy S20 Plus. I've never used the Ultra in extended use, and I've never used the S20 in extended use. And again, these cameras are actually really solid. But when you put them next to another device, that's when you learn the true identity of how these cameras measure up. Now, some of you guys said in the previous video, Jay, you're not really showing the device any love. Actually, I'm giving it a lot of love because times are kind of down right now. I don't have any desire to purchase anything else right now. So I'm just kind of going through the catalog and putting this phone against phones that I think are worthy competitors. So this phone is getting a lot of love. But, you know, phones, you can't win them all. You know, again, I think the 8K recording is a cool factor. I think the quality of the cameras for doing YouTube are really good for shooting videos and even doing vlogs. It's just that when you get something else in the room you can kind of figure out that the S20 Plus is not as strong as it would you think it is. And again, you know what? I'll say this is all personal preference. It's all personal preference. But some people watched other S20 videos and said, hey, you know, this is fantastic. You know, this is great. You know, this is a great set of cameras. Some people, not so much. They didn't really care for it too much. So it's up to you to decide whether or not you like the S20 Plus's cameras. I personally favor the HTC U11 all the way. I knew that I would in this video because these cameras are just fantastic. Any phone with the right lighting should be able to produce some great footage. And the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus is no exception. Fantastic cameras, but there's no denying, and nobody really said that these cameras were the best, but I'm just taking this phone through the paces like I do every other device that I get when I buy it. I'll have a 2-week review up on this pretty soon, because it has been 2 weeks. So what do you guys think about the HTC U11 versus the S20 Plus? Do you think this camera is better, or do you like these cameras better? It's your man Jay. Take care.